Hello, YouTube. Okay. Today I'm going to talk about irresponsible pet parents. I refuse to say the word owner. I don't like that word. It makes makes pets seem like slaves. So I say pet parents. Um, it just gets me why do people get animals that they're not going to take care of? It's inhumane. It's cruel. Animals, they have feelings too. They definitely have feelings also. Um, I'm always seeing commercials, with dogs, in the pound or in bad conditions. I don't know if anyone watches Miami Animal Police or Animal Cops like Phoenix or Houston, or I think they do Detroit still. I'm not sure. They even did South Africa, I think. But like I watch these shows and I see um, how these pet parents, they don't take care of any of their dogs or cats or horses or whatever. And that these dogs, they're always around their own, poop, underweight, fleas, some injuries. I've seen episodes where some dogs will have like their collars embedded in their neck, so that they have to do surgery to get them out. And they go to they go to like the pet parent's house. They knock on the door and they ask the person, did you know that your animal was in these conditions? And of course the people, they'll be like, oh well, um, I feed them every day, they get the exercise. But they don't get the exercise. They don't. And I'm looking at that, I'm looking like, you know what, if I were the judge, I would sentence that person to about 5 years. 5 years or more, depending on the damage done to the animal. Because that's just cruel. I can't stand people who harm animals. Because you have to think about it this way: if they harm an animal, do you think they would really be all that hesitant to hurt another human being? I don't think so. Personally, I don't think so. For instance, it is not just even like harming them, like and killing them. It's just neglect. Neglect is probably my biggest problem. For instance, neighbors, I have a neighbor, his wife and sons or whatever. They have about 7 dogs, about seven. One of them is actually mine. Well, I mean, well, in some sense, she's mine. I keep her over here. I feed her. Um, I've known her ever since she was like a puppy. And I noticed that when she was a puppy, she would always be in the house. She would come out, to use the bathroom and run around. But other than that, she'd be in the house. But then when she got older, they would keep her outside along with, a couple other dogs. Now, before they got this dog, her name's actually Nikki. She's a black lab chow mix. She's actually currently sleeping next to me. Um, but before they got her and about two other dogs that are currently outside, um, they had about 4 or 5 other dogs that got lost. No, I think it was more. No, more than five, definitely. That got lost or were taken away from the city pound. Now, I could always call someone to come pick up the dogs that are outside, but I have a feeling I know what's going to happen. It's either like call someone to take them away and have them get put to sleep, because that's what happens. It happens around here. I live in Baltimore City, and if in a lot of cases, if the dog isn't picked up or they deem the dog unsuitable for a family, they'll euthanize the dog. I don't want that to happen, but I don't want them sitting outside, cold and starving and around their own like feces and stuff. That's just it's evil. But yeah, I live, around DC, Baltimore, and we just had a really big snowstorm. Around my area, we got about 2 feet of snow. It was pretty bad, but I had, Nikki with me. I was not about to let her sit outside during that snowstorm. Now, the other dogs, I don't know very well. One of them actually barks at me all the time. I think if she were loose, she would probably hesitate to attack me. But still, I wouldn't want that for any dog. But yeah, they were outside and they were outside the whole entire snowstorm. And I looked outside. I looked at um, Nikki's igloo house that they keep for her, and that house is pretty much covered up by snow. And my mom and I, we looked over, and we could tell that they did not. My neighbors did not go over there to check on the dogs because there were no foot tracks in the snow at all. In fact, they didn't even know that I had her. I mean, they don't know. They don't really care because they know that, like, she loves me. This dog loves me. When she gets loose over there, she comes straight to my house. Um, and I love her just as much. I love her so much. That's why, like, I'm not. There are times where I just don't give her back. But I'm not the legal. Can't believe I'm about to say it, but I'm not the legal owner of her. So, but yeah, my mom and I were trying not to think about if those dogs were, dead because it was freezing outside. Keep those dogs in heat. They'll say heat warning, please bring pets inside the house. Nope. And the water is dirty and disgusting. I look around, I'm like, how can someone do that to a dog? You have something, you have an animal who will love you until the end, who will give its life for you, but you're going to treat it like that. And it still amazes me because those dogs still get excited when they see my neighbors come out. I don't get it. I should move into the topic of Michael Vick, and I am. Okay, we all know Michael Vick is a great, he's a great quarterback. He's very good at football. I'm not gonna lie. I like him. As a football player, I watched him with the Eagles. He was with the Falcons, but he's a dog killer, and I will not let him watch my dog ever, ever. When in fact, I had a debate with a friend of mine. He said Michael Vick did his time, and I said, yeah, he did his time. It doesn't mean that he's still not a dog killer. He still kills animals. And he told me that only reason why he got caught was because his family snitched. And I was like, okay. I was like, I probably would have snitched too. And the only reason why he stopped doing it was because he got caught. If he never went to jail, he guaranteed he would probably still be doing it now. He would still be, having pit bulls fight and then drowning them, shooting them, electrocuting them. That's inhumane. That is inhumane. And if I found out that he lived next door to me, I don't know what I'd do. And I thought about it like if someone hurt my dog that way. Like if I found out that like someone was willing to hurt my dog that way, that person would get hurt. You can't do that. And they gave him, I don't know how long they gave him. They gave him a year or two? I don't remember. But I would have given him longer. Because that's not just something that you just sweep under the rug. These are dogs. Personally, I think some dogs are better than humans. I'm like, be honest, like my dog is my absolute best friend. And these irresponsible pet owners, pet parents, whatever, whatever they are, they're just cruel. And actually, mom suggested that people should have some sort of proof that they can take care of one, like you can a child or something. I just think that after a while, like if you see someone who is neglecting a dog, that like you should take their dog away immediately and find them a nice home, and just keep the dog there until someone is willing to take them, but not euthanize them. That's just cruel. So I may do a part 2 to this. I may not. All right.